Good morning, dear children. Let us move to the last topic of the lesson, motion. That is uniform circular motion. Okay, and after completing this lesson, we can do problems. Okay, let's see uniform circular motion. You heard about circular motion. I think you know circular motion. What is meant by circular motion? The motion of an object along a circular path about a fixed point. That is called a circular motion. The motion of an object along a circular path about a fixed point, that is called circular motion. And here we have to discuss about uniform circular motion. Uniform circular motion. Okay, last class we studied about acceleration. How an object gets accelerated. I think we studied in the last class. Okay, how the object gets accelerated. Suppose if the velocity of an object may change, the object gets accelerated. Whenever there is a change in velocity, their acceleration occurs. Okay, then how the change in velocity happen? Whenever there is a change in speed, okay, if the speed of an object changes, the velocity also changes, or the direction of motion changes, the velocity also changes, or both speed and direction of motion changes, velocity changes. Okay, these are the different situations where the velocity of an object may change. Okay, whether the speed change or the direction of motion change, or both speed and direction of motion change, the velocity of an object also get changed. Okay, so the object gets accelerated. Okay. Next, can you imagine a situation where the object that moves with a constant velocity, but the direction of motion alone changes? Can you think about such a situation? Is it clear? Here, the object moves with a constant speed or constant velocity, but only the direction of motion changes. Can you imagine such a situation? Let us consider an example for such a situation. Okay, first we can consider here the motion of an athlete along a rectangular path here. The motion of an athlete along a rectangular path, that is ABCD. Okay, and here suppose if the athlete started its traveling from A. Okay, and here along AB, we can assume that he moves with a constant speed through AB, then again BC, then ZD, and then through DA. That athlete moves with a constant speed. Okay, and here in order to keep himself in this rectangular path, that athlete has to change his speed at the four corners. Listen to it. In order to keep himself in this rectangular path, that athlete has to suddenly change his speed at the four corners. That means here we can say how many times the athlete has to change its direction of motion to complete one round around this rectangular path. He has to change his direction of motion 4 times when he completes one round around this rectangular path. Okay. Here this is the case of the motion of an athlete around a rectangular path. And when we consider a hexagonal path, here we consider the hexagon A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, you know how many corners are there in the case of a hexagon? I think you know 6 corners. Okay, so in order to change the direction of motion, how many times that athlete has to change his speed to keep himself around this hexagonal path? That athlete has to change his direction of motion 6 times. That is around the 6 corners. He has to change the direction of motion, then only he can keep himself around this hexagonal path. Okay, and when we consider the case of an octagonal track, the athlete has to change his direction of motion 8 times. Okay, here the athlete has to change his direction of motion at 8 times. Okay, then only he can keep himself around this octagonal path. Okay, and here for octagon there are 8 sides there. Suppose if we increase the sides indefinitely, actually each side that reduces to a point and it approaches the shape of a circle. Okay, that is, if we increases the sides like this indefinitely, then actually each length that reduces to a single point, and finally actually the track that approaches the shape of a circle. Okay, and here at instead of each side, here at every point that athlete has to change its direction of motion in order to keep himself around this circle. Okay, that is, when an object moves along a circular path, that object has to change its direction of motion at every point. Then only he can that object can keep itself around a circular path. Actually here each length or each side that reduces to a point in the case of a circle. Okay, so here that object moves with a constant speed, and here the direction of motion alone changes. Okay, so we can say when an object that moves along a circle, it gets accelerated due to the change in direction of motion. That object gets accelerated. Okay, so here along this circular path, we already said that object moves with a constant speed along this circular path, and this type of motion is called uniform circular motion. If an object moves along a circle with a constant speed, its motion is called uniform circular motion. Okay, what is meant by uniform circular motion? If an object moves along a circular path with a constant speed, such a motion is called the uniform circular motion. Okay, and here the direction of motion changes at each point, so the object gets accelerated. The object gets accelerated. Okay, what do you mean by uniform circular motion? If an object moves along a circular path with a constant speed, this type of motion is called the uniform circular motion. Okay, next we have to find the equation for the speed of an object that moves along a circle. Okay, that moves along a circle, and here we represent the radius of the circle as r. Let r represents the radius of the circle. Suppose if the object completes one round along this circular path, then what is the total distance travelled by the object? Suppose if the object start to move from A, and after completing one round, that object reaches A, then what is the total distance travelled by the object along this circular path? Actually, the total distance travelled by the object here is equal to the circumference of the circle. Is equal to the circumference of the circle. You know, in maths, actually you studied what is the circumference of circle. Suppose if the radius of the circle is r, then what is its circumference? Actually, it is equal to 2 pi r. Okay, the circumference of the circle is equal to 2 pi r. Okay, and for completing one round along this circle, that object takes t time. Okay, then we can calculate speed. You know what is speed? Speed equal to distance by time. Speed equal to distance divided by time. Here the distance is equal to the circumference, so we can write 2 pi r that divided by t, that is gives the speed. Okay, the speed of an object moves along a circular path. V is equal to 2 pi r divided by t. V is equal to 2 pi r divided by t. This is the equation for speed of an object that moves along a circular path. Okay, then what is mean by circular motion? Sorry, uniform circular motion. If the motion of an object, if an object moves along a circle with a constant speed, if an object moves along a circle with a constant speed, that type of motion is called uniform circular motion. Next, we have to find an equation for speed of an object is in circular path. Here we are considering, let r be the radius of the circle. Then when completing one round along this circle, here the distance travelled by the object is equal to the circumference of the circle. Okay, here the circumference is equal to 2 pi r. Then you know the equation for speed, speed equal to distance divided by time. And instead of distance, we can write the distance is equal to the circumference. So it is 2 pi r divided by time t. So v is equal to 2 pi r by t. This is the equation for the speed of an object that takes a circular path. V is equal to 2 pi r divided by t. Let's see some examples of uniform circular motion. Examples for uniform circular motion. For that we have to take a thread and tie a stone at one of its ends. Okay, tie a stone at one of its ends of a thread. Then move the stone to describe a circular path by holding the other end of the thread. Okay, next we have to move the stone to describe a circular path by holding the other end of the stone. Okay, then when we release the thread, then what happens to the stone? Actually it will fly away, it will fly off. Okay, then in which direction? Can you tell the direction through which the stone will go? Actually, when we release the thread, instantly the stone that skip away from the circular path or leave the circular path and move tangential to the circular path. Okay, that is when we release the thread, actually the stone fly off. Okay, and when we release the thread, actually the stone that leaves the circular path. Okay, that means when we release the thread, the stone cannot take the circular path, it cannot move along the circular path. It has to leave the circular path, and soon after it moves along the tangential to the circular path, along the tangential to the circular path. Actually, you know what is mean by tangent? In maths, actually studied about tangent. Actually, it is a straight line. It passes only one point through a circle. Okay, tangent means it is a straight line that actually touches only one point on the circle. That is called the tangent. See, in this example, suppose when as soon as the stone reached the A, we release the thread. Through the tangent of this point, the stone will escape. That is, through the tangent of A, the stone will escape. Suppose when the stone reached B, that time we release the thread, means through the tangent of B, this stone fly off. Okay, that is, as soon as the thread is released, the stone cannot take this circular path. That means it leaves the circular path and through the tangent of this circular path, that will fly off or escape. Okay, this is the case of a uniform circular motion. You can say another example also in athletic, even you know, hammer throw and discus throw. There also the same thing is actually happen. Suppose when that athlete actually leaves the hammer or the discus when it reaches the point A, actually after rotating the discus or hammer only, actually the athlete can release what? The discus or hammer. Suppose at the point A, as soon as the hammer reaches the point A, that time the athlete release what? This hammer, then through the point, through the tangent of A, only it can escape. Suppose when it reached here, that is at B, then through the point of, through this direction, through the, that is along the direction of tangent at the point B, only it can move. Okay, suppose when it reached at C, what will happen? In which direction the discus or the hammer will move? Through the direction of tangent at the point, along the direction of tangent at the point C, only it can escape. Okay, then also you can see more examples. The motion of moon around the earth, or the motion of satellite around the earth. These are examples for uniform circular motion. Okay, that is about actually the uniform circular motion. You know what is uniform circular motion? If an object moves along a circular path with a constant speed, if an object moves along a circular path with a constant speed, this is called the uniform circular motion. Can you say the equation for speed when an object is in uniform circular motion? V is equal to 2 pi r divided by t. This is the equation for speed of an object moves along a circular path. V is equal to 2 pi r divided by t, where r stands for the radius of the circular path and t, that represents the time taken by the object to moves on around the circle. Okay, that is about uniform circular motion. Let's do the problems. All of you having the questions that I have given. Okay, then they take the questions. We can do one by one. Okay, let's see the first question. An electron moving with a velocity of 5 into 10 power 4 meter per second enters into a uniform electric field and acquires uniform acceleration of 10 power 4 meter per second square in the direction of its initial motion. Then we have to find the time in which the electron would acquire a velocity double of its initial velocity. Then how much distance the electron would cover in this time. Okay, that is the question. And here an electron moving with a velocity of 5 into 10 power 4 meter per second. So it's the initial velocity of the electron, u is equal to 5 into 10 power 4 meter per second. And after that it enters into a uniform electric field and acquires an uniform acceleration. So A is given as 10 power 4 meter per second square. What we have to find? We have to find the time when the velocity acquired by the electron is, that is v is equal to double its initial value. Here the initial velocity is u and v becomes equal to 2u. That time we have to find. Okay, that is the time at which the initial velocity, the final velocity is equal to its initial velocity. Okay, that thing we have to find. Okay, that is the time in which the electron acquire a velocity v, that is equal to double its initial velocity. Okay, that is v is equal to 2u, during which time the final velocity v, that is equal to double its initial velocity, that is 2u. That time we have to find. Okay, so we can take the relation v is equal to u plus at. Then instead of v we can substitute 2u. 2u is equal to u plus at. Then this can be written as 2u minus u is equal to at. What is 2u minus u? That is u. U is equal to at and time t is equal to u by a. Okay, then substitute for u. U is 5 into 10 power 4. Then acceleration is 10 power 4. And this 2 cancels and we got 5 seconds. Okay, so we got the time as 5 seconds. Okay, that is after its motion, after 5 seconds, its final velocity is double of its initial velocity. Okay, that is after 5 seconds from its motion, the final velocity v becomes equal to its double of its initial velocity. Okay, that is we got the time t as 5 seconds. Then how much distance the electron would cover in this time? That is during 5 seconds, how much distance that electron would travel? That thing we have to find. Distance traveled. So we have the relation S equal to ut plus half at square. Then what is u here? 5 into 10 power 4 into time is 5 second plus half into what is a here? 10 power 4. Okay, then what is t square? 5 into 5, that is 25. Okay, and here 5 into 5, 25 plus what? This 12.5. 25 plus 12.5, actually it is 37.5. That is 37.5 into, actually from this two terms we can take 10 power 4 as common. So that is 10 power 4 meter. This is the distance travelled by the electron during the time 5 seconds. Okay, listen it. And here the electron moves with an initial velocity u is equal to 5 into 10 power 4 meter per second, and it gets accelerated by 10 power 4 meter per seconds. And here we have to find the time at which the final velocity of the electron is equal to double of its initial value. That is v. What is the final velocity? V is equal to 2u. Okay, that time we have to find t. Okay, for that we are considering the equation v is equal to u plus at. And here v equal to 2u. That is 2u is equal to u plus at. This thing can be written as 2u minus u equal to at. From this u equal to at. That is t can be written as u by a. Then substitute for u and a. U equal to 5 into 10 power 4. Then what is a here? 10 power 4. Then 10 power 4 cancels. Then we got 5 seconds. Okay, that is at the time of 5 seconds, the final velocity of the electron is equal to its double of its initial speed or initial velocity. Okay, next we have to find the distance travelled by the electron during 5 seconds. For that we are considering the equation S equal to ut plus half at square. Then substitute for u 5 into 10 power 4 meter per second. Then t 5 second plus half into 10 power 4 into 25. Here 10 power 4 is common. So we can take it as out. So 10 power 4 into, after simplifying this we will get 37.5. That is the distance travelled by the electron is 37.5 into 10 power 4 meter. Next, the second question is, the velocity time graph shows the motion of a cyclist. We have to find its acceleration, then velocity and the distance covered by the cyclist in 15 seconds. Okay, that is the question. Here the velocity time graph is given. Okay, velocity time graph is given. Actually it shows the motion of a cyclist. We have to find, first we have to find the acceleration A. Acceleration A. Actually velocity time graph, actually this we can name this as AB. Okay, AB represent the velocity time graph for the cyclist. Can you say what is the acceleration here? Is any change in velocity here? During 5 seconds, here the velocity is what? 20. The next during 10 seconds the velocity is also 20, and during 15 seconds the velocity is also 20. You know what is acceleration? Acceleration means change in velocity by time. Whenever there is a change in velocity, then only there is acceleration. If the velocity is constant, the acceleration is 0. In your problem here, what is the velocity? 20 meter per second. There is no change in velocity as time passes. So the acceleration A is equal to 0 since the velocity remains constant. So the acceleration A equal to 0. And the next is we have to find its velocity. From the graph we can say what is the velocity here? 20 meter per second. The velocity is 20 meter per second. Okay. The next we have to find the distance covered by the cyclist in 15 seconds. We have to find the distance covered by the cyclist in 15 seconds. You know, using velocity time graph, how we can calculate the distance traveled. Already we learned. Okay. And here the area, actually the area under the velocity time graph gives the distance traveled. Okay, the area under the velocity time graph actually gives the distance traveled. Okay, so corresponding to 15 we can draw this line and we got OA BC as a rectangle here. Okay, so actually this is the area under the velocity time graph, and this area is equal to the distance traveled. So we can write the distance traveled S is equal to area of the rectangle OA BC. Okay, area of the rectangle OA BC. So we can write what is area here? OA into OC. That is the area. What is OA actually? 20. Then what is OC here? It is 50. So we got 300 meter. This is the distance traveled by the cyclist in 15 seconds. Okay, that OC, that represents the 15 seconds. Okay, have you got it? And here the velocity, actually the velocity time graph is given. We have to find the acceleration. Here AB represents the velocity time graph. Okay, here actually it represents the an object, the cyclist that moves with a constant velocity. So the acceleration is 0 because velocity is a constant. Whenever there is a change in velocity, only there is acceleration. So the acceleration is 0 because the velocity is a constant here. The next second is we have to find its velocity. Okay, velocity corresponding to the point A or the graph is actually 20. So the velocity is 20 meter per second. Next we have to find the distance covered by the cyclist in 15 seconds. Okay, actually you know how we can calculate the distance traveled using velocity time graph. Actually the area under the velocity time graph, that is equal to the distance traveled. So first we have to calculate the area under the velocity time graph. Actually this is the area under the velocity time graph is actually a rectangle. So we have to find the area of the rectangle OABC, that is equal to the distance. And here area of the rectangle is actually OA into OC. Then substitute OA as 20, then OC as 50. So we got 300 meter. That is the distance travelled. Okay. Next, the third question is the velocity time graph of a body is shown here. Actually, we have to find the state. We have to state the kind of motion represented by OA and AB. Next, we have to find the velocity of the body after 10 seconds, at 10 seconds and at 40 seconds. Then we have to find the negative acceleration of the body. And last, we have to find the distance between distance travelled between 10th and 30th second. Okay, that is the question here. Actually, the velocity time graph of a body is shown here. This AB that represents the velocity time graph. Okay. Our first question is actually state the kind of motion represented by OA and AB. The kind of motion represented by OA and AB. Let's take OA, the portion OA. Actually, the OA portion that represents what? Uniform acceleration. OA portion represents uniform acceleration. Okay, OA portion represents uniform acceleration because here the velocity is proportional to time. Okay, the velocity is proportional to time. So we got OA portion that represents what? Uniform acceleration. The next is the part AB. See, here AB, actually that represents the object moves with a constant velocity. See here the corresponding to A, the velocity is actually 20 meter per second. Okay, up to B, actually there is no change in velocity. It remains 20 meter per second. So AB that represents constant velocity. Constant velocity. AB represent what? Constant velocity. And the next is find the velocity of the body after 10 seconds and after 40 seconds. Okay, what is after 10 seconds? Here, after 10 seconds, what is the velocity here? Actually, it is what? Corresponding to the time 10 seconds, the point is actually A. Corresponding to A, the velocity is what? 20 meter per second. This will continue up to B. So, after 10 seconds, what about the velocity? It is 20 meter per second. Okay, 20 meter per second. After 10 seconds, the velocity actually 20 meter per second. Then after 40 seconds, what about the velocity? See here, after B, the velocity going on decreases and approaches 0. Okay, here the velocity is 0. So after 40 seconds, what about the velocity? It is 0 meter per second. Okay, 0 meter per second. The next is, what is the negative acceleration of the body? What is the negative acceleration of the body? You know what is negative acceleration? The velocity decreases. If the velocity of an object decreases, the acceleration is called negative acceleration. Here the the portion BC, that actually represents the negative acceleration. Okay, so we have the relation for acceleration. You know the relation? A is equal to B minus U by T. Okay, A equal to B minus U by T, where U represent what? Final velocity, then U represent the initial velocity and T represents the time interval. Okay, here what is the final velocity here? BC, when we consider the portion BC, what is the final velocity here? It corresponds to 0. Okay, 0 minus, what is the initial velocity corresponding to the point B? What is the velocity here? 20, that is the initial velocity. They are divided by time interval. When we consider the portion BC, the time corresponding B is actually 30 seconds. Then corresponding to C it is 40. Okay, is it clear? Then what is the time interval between these 2 points? That is 10 seconds. Okay, so we got minus 2 meter per second square because it is negative acceleration. So we got a negative sign here. Okay, the velocity is decreasing. So the acceleration, negative acceleration is minus 2 meter per second square. Okay, and the next is find the distance travelled between 10th and 30th second. Okay, we have to find the distance travelled by the object between 10th second and 13th second. Okay, you know how we can calculate the distance travelled by an object using velocity time graph. How we can calculate the distance travelled? Actually, first we have to calculate the area under the velocity time graph. Okay, that area is equal to the distance travelled. So, in between 30th and 10th second, here this much portion that represents the area under the velocity time graph. Actually, it is a rectangle ABEF. Okay, ABEF that represents the area under the velocity time graph in between the time intervals 10th and 13th second. We have to calculate the distance travelled by the object between 10th and 13th second. That is why we are taking this much area. Okay, so here we can write the distance travelled S is equal to area of this rectangle ABEF. Okay, then what is the area of the rectangle? It is equal to AF into actually AF into EF, that is equal to, what is AF? Actually this much height that corresponds to the velocity 20, that is 20 into EF. EF represents the time interval. Actually corresponding to F it is 10, corresponding to E it is 30. So the time interval is 30 minus 10, that is 20. So the distance travelled is 400 meter. So the distance travelled is 400 meter. Okay, here I will repeat. First we have to find the kind of motion represented by OA and AB here. Okay, here when we consider the portion OA, here the velocity is proportional to time. So the portion OA that represents the uniform acceleration. Next we consider the portion AB. Here the velocity remains constant. Okay, so this portion represents constant velocity. Okay, the next we have to find the velocity of the body after 10 seconds and after 40 seconds. Okay, and here after 10 seconds the object moves with a constant velocity of 20. So after 10 seconds the velocity is 20 meter per second. After that velocity decreases and approaches 0. So after 40 seconds, what about the velocity? It is 0 meter per second. Understood? The next we have to find the negative acceleration. So the equation for acceleration as A equal to V minus U by T, where V is the final velocity, U initial velocity and T time interval. Here the final velocity is 0 and the initial velocity is 20 meter per second. So 0 minus 20 divided by time interval is 10. So we got minus 2 meter per second square as the negative acceleration. Next we have to find the distance travelled between 10th and 13th second. The area under the velocity time graph is equal to the distance travelled. Here we have to find the distance travelled between 10th and 13th second. So this much area that is equal to the distance travelled. Here actually area under this velocity time graph is a rectangle. We can name this as ABEF. Okay, so area of the rectangle is equal to the distance travelled. Here the area of the rectangle, that is AF into EF. So we got 20 into 20, that is 400. Next the fourth question. Study the velocity time graph and calculate first the acceleration from A to B, then acceleration from B to C, then the distance covered in the region ABE and the distance covered in the region BCFE. Okay, this is the fourth question. Here also the velocity time graph is given. Velocity time graph is given. From the graph we have to calculate the acceleration from A to B. Okay, first we have to calculate the acceleration from A to B. Okay, the equation for acceleration. A is equal to V minus U divided by T. Acceleration A is equal to V minus U divided by T. Okay, here we have to find the acceleration from A to B. Okay, then we should know the velocities corresponding to A and B. Okay, should know the velocities corresponding to the point A and B. Then only we can calculate acceleration. Corresponding to A, what is the velocity here? It is 0. And corresponding to B, the velocity is actually what? Corresponding to the point B, the velocity is actually 25 meter per second. Okay, here we have to calculate the acceleration from A to B. So here this is the initial velocity corresponding to the point A, that represents the initial velocity. So here the initial velocity is 0. B corresponds to the final velocity. So it is 25. So the acceleration A is equal to V minus U by T. Our initial velocity U equal to 0. Then final velocity here V is equal to 25. And next we should know the time interval. Okay, we should know the time interval corresponding to AB. Here it is 0. Then corresponding to B, the time interval is 3. Okay, then time corresponds, here it is 3 seconds. So the time interval is 3 minus 0. Actually it is 3 seconds. 3 seconds. Okay, so we can write instead of V 25, then U 0 divided by 3. Okay, that is 25 by 3, that is actually 8.33 meter per second square. This is the acceleration from A to B. Okay. The next we have to calculate the acceleration from B to C. In the similar way, we can calculate the acceleration from B to C. We can use the same relation. A is equal to V minus U by T. A is equal to V minus U by T. Here, what is the initial velocity here? Actually, it is B to C. So, the point B corresponds to the initial velocity. So, U is equal to, corresponding to the point B, what is the velocity here? 25 meter per second. Then what is final velocity here? It is corresponding to C. It is 10 meter per second. Okay, then what is the time interval here? When we consider BC, corresponding to B, the time is 3 seconds. Corresponding to C, the time is 4 seconds. Then what is the time interval here? 4 minus 3, 1 second. Okay, so we can write A equal to V minus U by T, that is equal to 10 minus 25 divided by 1, that is equal to minus 15 meter per second square. Here we got negative sign because through BC the velocity is decreasing. So we got the negative acceleration. A is equal to minus 15 meter per second square. Okay. And the next we have to find what we have to find the distance covered in the region ABE. The distance covered in the region ABE. You know, from the velocity time graph, how we can calculate the distance travelled? Actually, it is equal to what? Area under the velocity time graph. Okay, so here we have to find the distance covered in the region ABE. So, this much portion. Actually, that represents a right angled triangle. ABE represents a right angled triangle. So, the distance travelled is equal to the area of this triangle. So, we can write the distance travelled is equal to area of triangle ABE. Area of the triangle ABE. So, we can write, you know, the area of right angle triangle, it is half BH. Half into, what is base here? Half into actually this much ABE. ABE portion represents the right angle triangle. So we can write half into AE into what is height portion represent BE. B in BE. Okay, then substitute half into what is AE here? What is AE here? This much distance AE, actually it is 3 seconds. So 3 into what is B? This much height, that is B is equal to 25. B is equal to actually 25. Okay, by simplifying this we got 37.5 meter. 37.5 meter. Okay, this is actually the distance travelled in the region ABE. Okay. The next we have to find the distance covered in the region BCFE. BCFE. Okay, BCFE. Actually, it is a BCFE. Actually, that represents a trapezium. Okay, here we can draw that thing as here. BCEF. Actually, that represents a trapezium. Okay, this one represents a trapezium. So the distance travelled is equal to the area of the trapezium. Distance travelled is equal to the area of trapezium. So first we have to find the area of trapezium. Okay, area of trapezium. Actually, you know, area of, what is the equation for find the area of trapezium? Sum of opposite sides. Here the opposite sides are BE and CF. BE and CF. You know what is BE here? What is BE here? 25. So 25 in. So the distance travelled S is equal to the area of trapezium. Okay, then we can substitute the values. And here actually area of trapezium, you know how to calculate the area of trapezium. Sum of opposite sides. That here opposite sides are B and CF. Okay, here B is actually is equal to 25. So 25 plus then CF. What is CF? CF corresponds to 10. So 25 by 25 plus 10 divided by 2. Sum of opposite sides divided by 2 into distance between the sides. Actually this portion EF represents the distance between the sides. Actually EF that represents 4 minus 3, actually it is 1. Okay, so we got 35 divided by 2, that is actually equal to 17.5 meter. This is the distance travelled in the region EBCF. Okay, in the region or BCFE. Okay, I'll explain once more. And in this graph we can find the acceleration from A to B. The first part is we have to find the acceleration along AB. Okay, so acceleration, you know the equation for acceleration, A is equal to V minus U by T. Here the final velocity is 25 and initial velocity is 0. So 25 by 3 we got 8.33 meter per second square. Okay, the next we have to find the acceleration along BC. Okay, using the same relation we can find here the final velocity is 10, then the initial velocity is 25. So 10 minus 25 divided by the time interval is actually 1. So we got negative or minus 15 meter per second square. Along BC the velocity is decreasing. So we got the negative sign here. Okay, the next we have to find the distance travelled in the region first ABE. Okay, you know how we can calculate the distance travelled using velocity time graph. Actually, the area under the velocity time graph is equal to the distance travelled. So, we can first calculate the area under velocity time graph. Here the portion ABE that actually represents a right-angled triangle. So, first we have to calculate the area of this right-angled triangle. You know the area of right-angled triangle. Actually, it is half BH, half base into height. So, half into this means AE into height is BE. Then substitute for AE and BE. Half into AE corresponds to 3 seconds. Then BE, what is BE correspond to 25 meter per second. And simplifying this we get 37.5 meter. Okay. The next we have to find the area under BCFE. BCFE. Okay, actually this BCFE that represents the trapezium. So to find the distance travelled, we have to find the area of the trapezium that is equal to the distance travelled in the region BCFE. Okay, already you know the equation for the area of trapezium. Actually it is sum of opposite sides. Sum of opposite side means here the opposite sides are BE and the CF. So sum of opposite sides BE plus CF divided by 2. Sum of opposite sides divided by 2 into distance between the sides, that is EF. That is actually the distance between the sides. Then we can substitute the values. What is BE? Actually 25. Plus then CF. What is CF? Actually 10. So 25 plus 10 divided by 2 into EF represents the distance between the sides. Actually that is 1 second. So it is 1. Then 35 by 2, actually it is 17.5 meter. That is the distance travelled. Okay. Next, the fifth question is, a body moves on a circular path of radius 1 meter. It completes 1 circle in 2 seconds. Find its speed. Okay, we have to find the speed of a body that moves in a circular path. You know the equation for speed when an object takes a circular path. What is the equation for speed? V is equal to 2 pi r by t. Okay, we know the equation. V is equal to 2 pi r by t, where r represents the radius. Okay, here the radius is given as 1 meter. Here the radius is given as 1 meter. And for the time t is given as 2 seconds. Time t is given as 2 seconds. Then what is speed? How we can calculate? V is equal to 2 into, you know the value of pi. Actually it is a constant. Its value is 3.14 into radius. Actually it is 1. Then divided by 2. So we got 3.14 meter per second. This is the speed of the object. Okay, here the body moves on a circular path of radius r equal to 1 meter and it completes one circle in 2 seconds. So time t is given as 2 seconds. We have to find its speed. You know the equation for speed of an object that takes a circular path. Actually it is 2 pi r divided by t. Then we can substitute the values 2 into, instead of pi we can substitute 3.14 into radius 1 meter, then time 2 seconds. Simplifying this we will get 3.14 meter per second. Next, our last question. An artificial satellite is moving in a circular orbit of radius 42,250 kilometer. We have to calculate its speed if it takes 24 hours to revolve around the Earth. Okay, an artificial satellite is moving in a circular orbit of radius r is given as 42,250 kilometer. Okay, and we have to calculate the speed of the satellite, and if it takes 24 hours, so t is given as 24 hours to revolve around the Earth. Okay, we have to find the speed of artificial satellite. Since the artificial satellite is moving in a circular path, so we can find the speed of the satellite moving in the circular path. Actually, that is, you know the equation. What is the equation? That is 2 pi r divided by t. 2 pi r divided by t. Then we can substitute the values here. 2 into, for pi, instead of we can write 22 by 7. Either we can use 22 by 7 or we can use 3.14 as pi values. Okay. Then radius is given as 42,250 divided by time is 24 hours. Okay. By simplifying this we will get 11065.4 kilometer per hour. This is the speed of artificial satellite in kilometer per hour. Okay. Then how we can convert this kilometer per hour into meter per second? By multiplying by what? 5 by 18. So 11065.4 into 5 by 18. Then we will get, actually it is 3073.7 meter per second. This is the speed of the satellite in meter per second. Okay. And here the artificial satellite is moving in a circular orbit of radius r is given as 42,250 kilometer. Then t is given as 24 hours. Then we can find the speed of artificial satellite using the relation v is equal to 2 pi r divided by t. Then substitute the values. 2 into pi, 22 by 7 instead of r here, then instead of time 24 hours. So we got this answer as in kilometer per hour. To convert this into meter per second, we can multiply by 5 by 18. Then we got 3073.7 meter per second. That is the end of today's class. Also we have finished the lesson. Okay, thank you children.